All right. Welcome everyone. This is Let It Flow with Swalo. This is a version of the self-care awareness which came from Clubhouse. All of this came from the lovely family of Clubhouse. This is someone that I value very, very much in my life. He goes by the name of Mouthpiece. I call him nephew. Um, he made a wonderful song for me this year for my birthday. So Let It Flow with Swalo. I love the way that our conversations always go, in the clubhouse streets. Um, Andrew has came a long way, excuse me, Mouthpiece has came a long way in his journey. So I just want this conversation just to be about where we came from through and to how we've overcame obstacles and basically how we're just taking control of our life, letting go and let God. So with that being said, boy, Mouthpiece. Boy, this has been a journey. This is, let me see, 3 years, 3+ years in the clubhouse streets. A little bit over 2 years in the clubhouse room, Swalo. So, man, like situations will alter your life's outlook. We're taught one thing, and when life happens, man, we gotta look at life a different way, deprogram, reprogram. So, what's your outlook on all of that?
My outlook on all of that is really coming from a heart centered place. The reason I did that song for you, Suelo, is from a heart centered place. Like when you um, so kindly and graciously do those spaces that you do, and you provide a space for others on Clubhouse. For those who do not know, Clubhouse is an app that you can download for free, and you can connect with others. There's many um, amazing topics and conversations going on, but one of the most amazing topics and conversations going on is self awareness by the individual that you see on the other side of your screen, Suelo. Um, and through participating in many of the spaces that Suelo has done, I've grown as a human being exponentially, which is one of the reasons why I did that song was to kind of pay respects back for all the time that you've spent selflessly. Um, it's exciting to be here now, to be in this new chapter, developing something new that is kind of away from what we normally do. To be on camera because on Clubhouse it's just audio. There's no video, and that kind of provides a certain different atmosphere. But this one right here, I think we can dive deeply into, a lot of the things that we talk about, a lot of the things that we're doing, and the song, which I will in the near future. I will be able to play that in the background and share that with those who choose to watch this stream. I'm so excited for what's to come in the near future for you, Suelo, doing this and putting yourself out there and taking the time out of your day because time is so precious. That's one thing we talk about. I think more than anything is what you're doing with your time, and time is so precious. So, um, for me personally, it's truly an honor and a privilege to be here. I guess the first episode of um, an amazing opportunity. Go with the flow with Suelo, and I'm happy to be here. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to thank you and everyone else because honestly, I couldn't do it without anyone, any of the family members. None of this would be possible because when I first started, people were telling me, don't do it because I was crazy. Nobody's going to listen. And it's because it's just about, taking your life back, understanding who you are, whose you are, that we were all programmed. It's all a program, and it's okay. It's okay because there's no manual, there's no one way of parenting. But when we get to a certain age, we have to understand what works for us. We have to understand what we really want in our own life. Uh, but we, some excuse me, some of us we still want to live by the word of what our parents want us to do or what they instilled in us, but that's not making us happy. Some people are living in a life that's like so miserable. I know people right now that are older than me, 50 plus, and they have not never lived their life. And I'm like, take your life back. You can respectfully take your life back, love yourself, love your family, love your friends, and everyone can still be happy. But you just have to know how to balance those things. And that's the one thing that we were not taught. And well, I was not taught. So since I had to learn that the hard way, when I would had to go through cancer, stage 4 endometriosis, had to, walk, you will learn how to basically live just by God's direction, by God's faith. Because without God, I wouldn't be here. Living that life in that wheelchair and everyone else turning their back on me saying, hey, you know what? You're the strong one. The strong ones, they always feel we don't need anyone. So I had to take my life back and say, okay, this is what I have to. I have to give my life back to God. I have to sit down in order to be set up. This has been a long 13-year journey for me. So since it's been a long 13-year journey for me, and I can smile honestly every single day and the tears now are tears of joy. That's all you see in the clubhouse streets. That's all you hear. It's that, and I guess that's why people say they hear the passion because it was a long, long time of hurt. So now it's a lot of love that I have to give, and I just want to give back so everyone else can understand. Love yourself, but you can also love everyone else. Respectfully, take your life back.
No, absolutely. And I really feel it's in the decisions that we make, because every single day that we wake up, we get a chance and a choice to um, make the best decisions for ourselves. And I really think that speaks volumes, Suelo, by what you do on the daily. And when we get into pain, when we get into our circumstances, our experiences, our trials, and our tribulations, and definitely advocating and championing God, the name of God, what you choose to believe in, the creator of everything. I think that's when that powerful conversation and topic comes up for those who choose to be in that conversation, such as myself, such as those who spend time in your spaces. Um, and it really allows you an opportunity to reflect on your own life, which is why I believe what you do, um, not only when it comes to your self-awareness spaces, but just you checking on people, pouring into others. I really do feel, based upon your experiences, which has led you to this place right here right now. I feel it's so important to, give credit to where credit is due, to God, and to your sacrifices, right? The pain that you've gone through, what you've learned on the other side of pain. I think all too often nowadays, in my personal experience, because I can't speak for anybody else, but pain's uncomfortable. I don't want to go through pain. I'd rather just have the easy times. But I also understand what's on the other side of pain. What's on the other side of trial and tribulation, putting the hard work in. It's so rewarding, especially when I give the credit to God. It's not about me, really. It is, in terms of all the things that I've gone through, but it's really about, you know, the lottery of life. I really feel that has so much um, potence. It has so much potency in that statement. The lottery of life, the fact that we get to wake up and exist and experience whatever we experience on the daily, but to give that credit to God is so powerful. That's what it's really about. I think when we kind of dive a little bit deeper into some of the things that you've been saying and some of the things that I've been saying, it's really about God, just to experience this moment in what it is in totality. And it's the first episode of Go with the Flow with Suelo. So I just can't wait to see so many other beautiful conversations that's transpired beyond this one, obviously. But yeah, you're so right. I think you hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah, learning the peaceful way. Learning the peaceful way. And that's what it's about, you know. Um, because again, this wouldn't be going right now if I wouldn't have learned how to become peaceful. Because I would still just be running around, you know, trying to fix everything myself, trying to figure everything out myself. Because what I was always taught is you shouldn't talk to yourself and you really better not answer yourself because if you do, that means you're crazy.
Yep.
Um, but I had to learn myself that talking to myself and answering myself, I'm not talking to myself or answering myself really. First off, let me clarify that that's me and my conversation. That's me, myself, and my God. Um, so people understand that that voice, that small voice that they hear on the inside, and you know, it's always, oh well, my first mind told me. Well, the last time I checked, I only had one of these, just one. And if I hear something, you know, that little small voice on the inside, I learned this God. So it's me being obedience, you know, being obedient because the sacrificing, actually, I learned that that hurts. That really, really hurts. And that's how I ended up with my life turned upside down. That's how I ended up with the background that I have, because I was trying to do it myself. I was working off of the programming of you at the age of 18, well, even before, excuse me, you know, you have to go get a job, you have to do this, you have to, you know, uh, create this family. But what did God say? I was not taught, you know, that way of what did God say. If I was taught that way of what did God say to me, if I was taught to listen to that voice, I wouldn't have self-destructed because that's actually what I did. I self-destructed because I listened to my family and self-care awareness came about. Self-awareness came about. Been in the clubhouse streets. Now here we are. And now we're just letting everything flow. So, like I said, the things that I've been through in life, the things that you've been through in life, our experiences put together with a lot of other people in the clubhouse streets, our stories and our overcoming can help a lot of others overcome and help a lot of other people also know that what they are going through, it's okay. It's okay not to be okay. We talk about that all the time. It's okay not to be okay. And my favorite that I always say that sometimes your comfort zone can very much well be your destruction zone
Mhm.
because that's where you're comfortable and you will not ever try to learn anything different. I'm seeing that a lot in people 55 and older. You know, they're so unhappy, they are so miserable, and they blame everyone else, but then they want to say, "I'm just stuck in my ways." Well, what
Mhm.
is being stuck in your ways? Stuck in your ways is not wanting to change. Being stuck in your ways is not wanting to learn. Being stuck in your ways is saying that you are what, right? I don't know, but what is being stuck in your ways?
Being stuck in your ways is trusting in the circumstances more than you trust in your guiding force. For me, I call that God. For me, I take direction from the universe and the creator of everything. Being stuck in your ways is getting in your way instead of letting God work, just going with the flow, which is so beautiful because it really translates and it comes back to the title of what you've put your heart into, the surrender and understanding that I'm not always in control. I control my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions, but you know, I don't control the circumstances. I don't control people, places, and things. And it's really, you mentioned discipline, and I think obedience definitely falls in line with showing up for yourself, doing what's best for you, regardless of what people want to say, this and that. It's really about what you want out of this life. And most importantly, beyond that, what, because we want a lot of things in life, but it's about what God wants for you, your best course of action moving forward, so it's fulfilling for you. There's a lot of things that we want that are not fulfilling, but I really ultimately feel when I stopped getting in my own way, blocking my own blessings, which is what we're talking about right now, right? Blocking my own blessings by, you know, attaching expectations and what I think is best when God only knows what's best. I don't. Um, and it's until I experience those things. It's so easy to say that, right? It's so easy just to spout off, but until you truly experience the surrender and letting go of what it's going to look like and just letting God work, that's when I think the blessings truly come through and you start to see that with your own eyes, right? Which is so important. That's a part of the experience is not only witnessing it but believing it, feeling it. Feeling's a big part of it. Feeling, right? So
Yeah. Trust the process.
trust the
Trust.
process.
Yeah, it's a process.
It is.
We all have a process. Everyone has a process, but everyone's process is different. So that's the reason why it's very, very critical that we do not take anyone else's advice. You know, and that's something that we respectfully do in the clubhouse streets and in the rooms on Wednesday and Saturday. If you come in and start saying what you should do or what you ought to do or what you can't do, I'm sorry, we don't accept it. We share our stories to let other people know that there is a way out. Don't give up. Trust God. But it's not our place to tell anyone. And that's the programming, because people want to tell you what to do. People want to tell you how to live your life. But when you look at those people, how are their lives actually going? How have their lives actually been conducted for their entire life? So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. We have to be very, very careful. Walk by faith, live by love.
Yeah, and that falls down to practicing what you preach, right? And essentially, who am I to tell another individual what to do when I don't walk in their shoes? I don't live their lives. I think, you know, in my opinion, my job as a man of God and of being on the other side of the trials and the tribulations is just to encourage people back to the source, back to God. It's not to tell you what to do because I can't tell you what to do. All I can do is encourage you based upon our testimonies, essentially what you talked about. Who am I to tell anybody what to do? Who am I to judge another human being for the things that they've done when every day is a new choice, it's a new chance, it's a new opportunity to move forward. And essentially, for me, in my opinion, again, I have to, keep saying that it's to get back to the source, get back to God, get back to love and fulfillment and peace, prosperity, joy, abundance, and all of the amazing things that God provides. But I can't get there if I'm constantly focused on, in my opinion, constantly focused on what others are doing, what they should do. It's so important to just embrace others where they are and share your testimony. You never know who you're going to inspire by what you have to say. And that's why it's so crucial with what you do, Suelo, because there's so many testimonies, there's so many powerful, the essence of anybody that comes into that space and truly bears their heart, takes the mask off. I don't have to be anything other than myself. That the authenticity and being genuine is so important. I could never get there without God in my life. I couldn't. I couldn't. It just wasn't possible. I was ashamed, right? So
You said something. You just said it. You said you were ashamed. I remember when I used to be ashamed. I remember when I used to be ashamed. That's when I thought I was doing everything on my own. That's when I thought I was making everything happen. I had to go out and get the money. I had to, well, nowadays they say I have to go out and get the bag, whatever. I have to hustle, I was working and then I was hustling on the side at the same time. But I had to sit down. I mean, literally, when I couldn't do anything, I just could lay on my back and blink my eyes and cry. And at that point, I was like, "Oh Lord, if and when you take me out of this, I promise." And here you have it. I have to keep my word. I have to be obedient. That is the one thing that I've learned about you say something. When you give your word that you are gonna do something, you have to do it, because if you do not do it, God will take something from you. My ability to walk was taken from me. I lost my ability to walk. I had to go ahead and say, okay, okay, I'm for real. I surrender. I surrender. I'm not going back to the life that I told you I was going to remove myself from. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move forward. I'm going to do everything that you asked me to do. So that's why I said we have to do this YouTube, this podcast before. We have to start it before the end of the year, because I was given a date, and that date is passed. So I said by the end of the year, it has to be done. So here I am, and here we are, and I just can't wait until you come up with more music for the background, because I love your music. I can't
Thank you.
wait. Yeah, no, you're welcome. No, thank you for sharing your music. Um, I just can't wait to see where we're all going, because I mean, you have a whole family that's going with us. So I mean, it's all about blessings. And again, where would we be if we didn't give if we didn't give our life back, if we didn't say I surrender? Because we were not here last year. We were not here the year before. But look at us now. I mean,
Yeah.
peacefully, peacefully. And we will not allow, and I'm saying we, because I listen to you. I read your text messages every time. I read them over and over again. Honestly, I do. And I'm like, you are protecting your peace at all costs. You and your family. I take my hat off to you. So congratulations on that. And a lot of people, they don't understand that when you start loving yourself, because I had to learn that the programming that was instilled in me, it caused me not to love myself. It caused me not to know how to love myself. The whole time I thought I was loving myself, but I really wasn't. But once I deprogrammed and reprogrammed and gave my life back to God, I was like, okay, God, I'm giving it back to you. And God was like, okay, well, let me show you how to sit in peace. Let me show you how to love yourself. And therefore, love yourself, you know how to love everyone else. You love them unconditionally. You love them right where they are, and even if they don't love you back, you know what? Give them back to me and let me work on them. I can't do, the only person I can change and fix is myself. I
Hmm.
know I didn't know that before.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
No, because you know, I come from that same position where I had, through Clubhouse, I had a space where people would come in, and I felt kind of obligated or responsible for taking their pain away, for those who were vulnerable enough and courageous enough to share that pain with me. So personal and it's so intimate, right? And I kind of felt responsible. But the more that time went on, the more I realized that through my own testimony, through my own trials and my tribulations, and me sharing those things, I can encourage others to make the best possible decisions for themselves. It's all about solutions, because the same solutions that worked for me, Andrew, right, are not going to work for everybody else. And I understand that. And it's not that I'm a guru, it's I am a vessel, right? I have a, a connection to God. I've surrendered to God, so I allow God to use me in those moments where I might not have those answers, but I can definitely tell people there is something out there that has the answers for you, and you really have to trust and believe in that. And it's just letting go of all the attachments, everything that you know, which is scary. We will always want to be in control. We want everything Amazon Prime to our doorstep immediately. We want results. We want everything instantaneously. But it doesn't work like that. It takes patience. It takes hard work. It takes walking through the doors when we don't think anything is on the other side. When God opens those doors, um, it's a leap of faith, as they say. Um, but it's really taking that leap on yourself. Um, because if I can't be there for anybody else, what good am I? If I'm not mentally present, and the best way to do that is to surrender. And it's not until I see the results And it took patience, it took time, but when I seen the results of truly surrendering to God, right? Letting God take the wheel, allowing God to show me where to go next. There's so many things you said previously that I definitely want to elaborate on. But I think the most important thing that I can keep touching down on and speaking on is the surrender part, and advocating um, for the blessings and how God has came through for my life. That's what truly I think speaks volumes to others, is to listen to this. I'm not going to say heroic story, but this kind of triumphant story, overcoming obstacles and getting through, a year of sobriety. That's something that I advocate for, is mental health and addictions, and just getting to where I am now. I wouldn't be here without God.
Mhm.
Um, so at the end of the day, that's what I really have to inject into this beautiful first episode of Go with the Flow with Swalo, and I'm so happy to be here. I can't wait to do many more. It's exciting. I feel
Well,
much more comfortable and relaxed now than I did, with our first interaction. So
I
over
really
time.
don't know. I really don't know who's more. I think I'm more excited that you are here because of the things that you've overcame, in your life. And it's been very, very trying, and again, you wouldn't know exactly which direction to go, and you wouldn't be who you are right now, like you said, if you surrendered. And I'm the same way. Wheelchair. I mean, wheelchair was my get around. I was using this wheelchair. I couldn't even stand in my kitchen and cook for myself. It was horrible, and it was just because I kept doing things the way I was taught. I kept doing things by the program. I learned that that was not it, and I was like, "Oh wow!" And then I lost everything. I became homeless, and everyone that I helped turned their back on me, and I was like, "Okay, so this is it." And I was like, "Okay, now that when I lost everything and when I became homeless." And I started asking people for help, and everyone was turning their back on me. That's when I got very upset. I got and I know y'all have heard me talk about this, in the clubhouse streets. But I was angry. I was like, God, you promised you wouldn't put more on me than I can bear. And I'm at the end. I can't take anymore. And the next thing I know, everything just started to flow. It was one thing after I was like, oh, wait a minute. All I gotta do is stand on his word, understand his word, stand on it, obey, and the harvest. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is easy. I'm like, so I've been doing my whole entire life the hard way. I've been doing it the hard way. I've been doing it because I thought that this is what I had to do. But all that I have to do is just be obedient, listen.
Yeah. And I honestly believe a lot of these things that are learned, the learned behaviors, things that we learn along this journey of life can be unlearned. Just like we learn them, they can be unlearned. But what better way to get guidance and direction than from the creator of everything, God, right? So that's why it's so crucial for the surrender aspect, because there is a lot of things. When I first turned my life over to God, I was not a man of God for many, many years of my life. It wasn't until I hit around, I'd say 32, 30 years old. I had definitely experienced many things about God, but never truly gave my heart to God and experienced what that's all about and like surrendered. And I think wholeheartedly that it's letting go of control. That's the most scary part, but seeing what comes back to you once you truly do, once you trust and believe something greater than yourself. Because I can't do it by myself. Can't. The evidence for that. The reason I say that is my previous life choices, my experiences, right? Um, and it's unlearning. You say the way we're programmed. That's such an accurate depiction of what's going on. The programming, the brainwashing, the things that we choose to indulge ourselves in, the things that we choose to engage ourselves in, what we don't change, we are choosing. That is such a very fundamental part of the experience of life, but it's the surrendering and knowing that I've been programmed a certain way. I couldn't trust myself when I became a man of God because I didn't know what was put there by external sources and by spirit, by the creator, by God. I didn't know what was put there that was holy because I wasn't a man of God. But the complete surrender, dying to my old self, not to say that I had to commit any physical harm to myself, but just to completely remove the old self and be born again. I think that's why that saying that some people might hear is kind of foreign to them. Like, oh, what do you mean born again? No, it just means letting go of everything, allowing God to rebuild me. It's not a scary thing. It's a refreshing thing. I think more people should be excited by that because you have a chance to reinvent yourself. That's why it's so important, in my opinion. It's exciting. You can be anything you want to be, but now you get to do it in the right way. You get to be truly fulfilled. You allow the creator of everything to open those doors for you. That's why it's so potent and important, what you said. That reprogramming yourself. Please, everybody who takes a chance to see this, please take 5 minutes, reprogram yourself. Think about the programming that you've been through and what you're sitting in right now. If it's not about love, it might be about something else, but that's only up to you to decide. I just know where I'm sitting. So
It's all about love. It's all about love.
amen.
It's because you do have a space on Clubhouse yourself that I would love for you to come back to. You do come back sometimes, but you know,
Not consistently. Not consistently. As much as I would like to. Just because the way life goes sometimes, but it's always in my heart. It's my foundation. It's where I met you. It's where I met people who altered and changed the course of my life and my direction by being of service and doing something selfless, holding space for other people.
yeah, like I said, I just love your energy. I love the flow of your space. I love the people that come in and support you and everything, and that's why when you do have it, I do come in. But I'm gonna tell you, this 6:30 in the morning thing for me, with the weather changing, it's gonna be kinda, like iffy because like this morning I'm up like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, I'm awake. So at 6 o'clock, I'm now taking a nap. So at 10 o'clock, I'm waking up and I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to get ready for this. So yeah.
That's simply due to the fact that I changed my morning schedule. I used to be a night owl, then I reverted to a morning person where I was waking up at 4 in the morning. And it was just part of my daily routine of getting into gratitude. So the morning room is gratitude, obedience, and discipline, right? Capital G, capital O, capital D, God, right? Because I really feel like those are the three pinnacles that's my foundation on my respect paid to God. And the other room that I did on Clubhouse was around 12 hours later, around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that was the mental health check-in, which evolved into the mental health awareness year. But yeah, thank you so much for mentioning that, Suelo. It's been a while, but when the time is right, when God allows it, I'll be back in full spirit all the time.
Well, I hope it's sometime soon in the near future,
Me too.
sometime soon. Oh, you
Me
are
too.
family now, so Christmas is coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year. So, blessings to you and yours. We'll let the holidays pass, but then, tell her we're gonna need you back in the clubhouse streets because honestly, a lot of people they love when you and I get together and yeah, make stuff happen in the clubhouse.
Because magic is created when two people come together for a genuine and authentic cause. When two people get together for something that is built on the foundation of others, it is for us, right? We show up for ourselves. we dedicate our time being the most precious commodity we all have. But when it really comes to doing a act of service to others when there's no expectation of anything in return, is to see people be embraced, take, like I said earlier in this room, take off the mask and get to be their genuine, authentic selves, be embraced and loved and supported and uplifted. And when you truly feel someone in their moment of gratitude for what you have created by the grace of God, I can't take and that's where I evolved and I shifted from like, thank you so much, you know, I did this for my heart, to not, this is God. This ain't even, this is something bigger than myself. I was a miserable individual 4 years ago. So how am I doing this now? That's God, because I chose to believe in God, and I surrendered and I allowed God to use me as a vessel. So, man, what an amazing first episode this is, Suelo. My goodness, I'm so happy to be here and to be a part of this. I really do love this. I can't wait to do more.
Well, I'm grateful. Like I said, I'm grateful. I really am. I was just waiting for, I don't know what I was waiting for. I really don't. Yes, I
Right
do.
here.
Yes.
That's what
No,
we're
no,
waiting
no.
for. Right here, baby.
No, because you already know what happened. You know, we had to remove some people, you know, people, places, things, reason, season, lesson, blessing. Because I really believe in that. You know, people come into your life for that, a reason, season, lesson, blessing. And sometimes you just got to remove those people for whatever reason.
Yes, you
And
do.
even if it hurts, we all have to remember one thing. Remember one thing, one. God will never leave us nor forsake us.
Never.
He's the only person. He's the only person. So everyone has an expiration date. And I've always been told, well, I've always not I've always been told, but I've always had this saying ever since I was a kid. And it's because the way that I've been lied to from my pops, promises are meant to be broken. So God is the only one that I know that has always kept his promise. So
Always.
I've broken my promise, but guess what? Every time I break my promise to God, guess what he does? He still gives me a chance. He gives me a chance
Amen.
to make, and he says, okay, are you going to do right this time? I keep giving you the opportunities. I'm giving you the abilities back. What are you going to do this time? So here we are. So again, I'm grateful that you are willing to accept the invitation to take this journey with me. And I'm grateful that your better half is also allowing you, because without her saying, she could say, you know what, I don't want you doing this. I don't need you spending time on that. So I thank the entire family, all of you, for being a part of this, especially in the clubhouse streets. When she comes in and she joins and she just sits at the bottom and you know, she supports. That's a beautiful
Mhm.
thing. I can't wait till we start talking about how loving yourself actually makes other people love you in return. So,
Ooh, we're gonna have to keep that for episode number 2. I think this first one has been very potent. I think there's been
uh,
many important topics touched down on, and I know Melissa loves you. I know my significant other. I don't have no problem mentioning her name. The girl
see,
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
be with
know.
for the rest of my life, Melissa. She loves you.
Okay, I wasn't for sure, but out of respect, that's the reason why I didn't. So since you
No,
did,
it's
I
okay.
know it. Okay, yeah, yeah, all
Okay,
right.
Swilla, I want to thank you so much for this opportunity today. I look forward to the next episode, and so should everybody at home, because we have amazing things coming from Go with the Flow with Suelo. We're going to learn so many things. We're going to feel love. We're going to feel embraced. And I thank everybody for this time. Most importantly, you, Suelo, thank you for taking the time out of your day to bring birth. You gave birth to something so crucial, and it really is a pinnacle in the things that you're doing. I have to say that. Thank you, Suelo, so much.
Well, I want to thank you for being here again, like I said, because without you, I mean, I like I said, I do have other people that I'm gonna bring on, and you know, we're gonna, go with the flow. But it's you that I was like, you and Jahan. I gotta get Jahan on here as well.
I can't
So,
wait to hear from Jahan.
but at one point it's gonna be all three of us because I think I can have up to like six people on here right now. But once I
Oh, I'll be
upgrade,
here every chance I get. Absolutely. We're
okay,
family. I love it.
yeah, course, of course. So love you to life on purpose for your
I
purpose.
love you to
That
life on purpose.
that's it. That's it. So keep the smile on your face. And you know what? If you see somebody walking around hanging, with their head hanging down, just tell them, you know what? It's gonna be okay. I love you. God loves you, and nothing you can do about it. So
Amen.
yeah. So blessings to you and yours. Y'all have a wonderful, phenomenal rest of the day. And I will be talking to y'all later.
And this is the first episode concluded. What a magnificent, magnificent first episode. Going out there live in the universe. We're going to be blowing up everywhere. Suelo, thank you. I love you so much. And with that, I guess I yield the mic like you always say.
All right. Go ahead and end this.
I love
And
you, Suelo. Take care, everybody. Much love, everybody.
all right, love everyone. Y'all take care.